Hey, everybody, and welcome back once again. Once again, everybody, welcome back to CAP Social Network. So, in today's video, I want to talk about my and give my perspective on why both classy and decent women always usually win in the long run. Now, I know a lot of you guys may go or either go for the women that are the complete opposite to this types of women that are trashy, that are disrespectful, that are unfaithful in the long run, or for the most part, or either you may still go for those type of women, or may have went for those exact type of women in the past, only to find out that those type of women, the same ones that you go for due to their physical appearance, whether they may have either a nice face or in most cases have a very shapely body, very shapely and nicely body. Those women, for the most part, fellas, to all my fellas who follow my channel, don't always make some of the best wives. And this is why I say some of the reasons they don't. First and foremost, they're liable to cheat on you. Not only that, but they have mental issues. The same type of women are the ones who always are revealing, dressing very provocative and revealing to the extent where they're practically naked or may want to take off their clothes anytime. All you have to do is just know how to approach them. The same types of women that you could have sex with in public places. The same type of women in most cases who are covered in using tattoos, who have filthy mouths, who use lots of profanity. In most cases, women that aren't some of the most nicest nor spiritual women. Those are the types of women that a lot of us brothers go for, and using in the long run we regret ever being with. The, the same types of women that we will prefer, or our mothers in some cases, although a lot of our mothers, let's call a spade, and keep it 100, are the same way. The main reason our choices in women are so fucked up, uh, the main reason we'll pick a thought any day and any time over a woman that's classy, a woman that's uh, hardly ever revealing any of her body parts, a woman who is very respectful, in most cases be respectful towards our mothers, a woman that knows how and when to shut up, a woman who doesn't go showing off her body parts or her shapely body on social media. Instead, a woman, for the most part, that will make a very good wife, very good, wholesome wife, and mother. Those are the types of women, sometimes, fellas, that we just completely disregard and may consider as too lame, too corny, too boring. Although at the same time, those are the main, like I said again, and I will not quit saying this. Those are the same exact women, fellas, that make some of the best wives, best girlfriends. Even if you may be a guy that's not quite ready to quote unquote tie the knot yet, in other words, to marry, but you may want just a wholesome, respectful girlfriend that'll be very faithful to you, one that'll be able to be there for you anytime you may be down on your luck. Anytime you may not be able to rub two niggas together. The same types of females who may be with you in case it may come a deal where you may end up getting laid off from your employer or fired, will still be there to hold you down, so to speak. Still, in other words, will still go out of her way to not only be there by your side, but help you whenever you're in a financial bind. These are the same types of females, once again, fellas, who we don't care for. We go out of our ways not to approach in some cases. Once again, the same types of females who we consider corny, lame, boring, all of the above. But in some cases, instead of us using selling down with those types of women, fellas, we always pick some of the main females that come with the most drama. The same females who, if we may be a guy such as myself without kids at all, we usually settle for with kids, with multiple kids, in most cases about multiple dudes. We usually settle for those types of women. And for the most part, we like the drama that it comes with, similar to how females always pick the bad boys, so to speak, the most toxic and dysfunctional men, the most bottom of the totem pole men, due to the drama that it comes with and the excitement, as some women put it. Well, that's how we look at women that are thoughts, so to speak, women that are trashy, women that carries themselves in such a such a, how could I put it, immoral way. Those are the types guys we go for, and not only due to the toxicity that it comes with and the drama, but also we look at those women are as able to put it down, really be able to put it down in the bed. If you catch my drift, the ones the main we look at those women as women with no sexual boundaries or limitations, women that will be bound, in other words, to perform any kind of sex acts, even be will go as far as performing orgies. We find those are some of the main reasons we find those types of women exciting. And in some cases, we even go as far as having kids by, only to regret having kids by those types of women, and only for those women to still cheat on and be unfaithful to us, talk to us like we're shit, and just be as disrespectful as she can towards us. Even we may bear kids from those women. Those women, once again, fellas, are never some of the best wives, nor are they some of the best um, just best to be in relationships with at all, even if we don't end up marrying those types of women. Oh, I also wanted to say once again, those women in a lot of cases are not some of the best mothers. But on the flip side, I wanted to talk about why decent and classy women, once again, usually finish and prevail in the long run. That's because, for the most part, decent, and I would say this once again, if you wanted me to, you may want me to reiterate, decent, classy women who carry themselves in such a moral fashion or moralistic fashion know how to be quiet. They don't go strolling all your business to everybody, because a lot of you guys could relate to how there are quite a bit of women that you may have had sex with on your jobs, due to how you have that immediate accessibility, and due to how you see that woman for the most part, more than you do your own wives or girlfriends, due to how you usually work with these women over the 8 hours, sometimes 10, 12 hours a day. You look at those types of women as easy accessibility. Only for some of these women, once you were to have sex or become intimate with these types of women, the next day or so they will go strolling your business towards some of everybody on your job. But anytime you may deal with a woman, on the other hand, that is quiet, that is mild mannered, very quiet, mild mannered, and humble, you don't have to worry about those kinds of consequences to deal with. In most cases, these women that are of high morals, women that are of decency, who have some of the utmost respect for themselves, are willing to not let the cat out the bag, if you catch my drift. If you were to have sex with these type of women, even if you didn't become intimate with these type of women, but you may have just taken one out on a date on your job, that's one pro of the dealing with the classy, decent, and humble woman. On top of that, these types of women make some of the best mothers because they are more attentive towards their kids, more nurturing towards their kids. Anytime the kids may need home or have homework assignments, anytime the kids may it may come a case whereas the kids may be sick and she may have to leave her workplace to tend to those kids or may have to check them out of school early just because they may not be feeling well. She'll make it her number one priority to tend to her kids. Whereas with the trashy, slutty types of women, they are not always the most attentive towards their children. As a matter of fact, they like to talk down on their children. They like to um, shame their children. Am I right or wrong, fellas? They do. Not only that, but these types of women like to indulge in excessive smoking marijuana, cigarettes, what it may be, blacks and males. In most cases, all of the above. They also like to engage in heavy amounts of drinking hard liquor. They have tattoos, excessive tattoos, which is very unladylike. Unlike whenever you deal with a classy, decent woman of good morals, she may have tattoos, but they're not usually hardly visible at all. On average, she may have upwards to 2 tattoos that are very small and hardly they usually cover either on the upper back or their lower leg or calf, something of that nature, foot. And it may be something such as a rose or something such as a biblical tattoo. Not only that, but women that are decent and of good morals, who carry themselves in a very respectful manner, don't have high body counts. And in my personal opinion, a woman should have no more than around, I would say, at most 4 sexual partners. And those sexual partners will trace back to as far back as middle school, high school, and college. Because for one, women, during her younger years, she may have been in relationships, whereas she thought these relationships would end up lasting for a while, only for it to come a case where that first guy that she may have met during her middle school days may have wanted her initially for sex. Then, after she may have broken up with him, she may have left him, or he may have left her, or how you would like to put it, to find a whole new boyfriend, only for him to be the same way. So fast forward to her high school years, she may end up finding that guy who she may have thought would be the that perfect and special someone during her high school years, who may be her only boyfriend throughout her whole entire high school experience, only for him to be a bad boy who always engaged in fights a lot, always was in jail a lot, and skipped school. And because of that, and not only that, but he may happen to be the type that may have cheated on her off and on while being in a relationship with him as well, due to his image, his bad boy image. On top of that, women, sometimes when women may have been through those kind of experiences, when guys as far back as from their middle and high school years, they may usually have a complex where they may have a hard time trusting guys due to how they may have had, based upon one experience when one guy, how or one, either one or two guys, she may have judging from those um, bad experiences from those two, from being with those two guys, she may perceive other guys pretty much as that same way, only for her to eventually have to build up her trust again and being in a relationship. Now that fourth guy, she may happen to meet during her college years, and chances are he's one of those guys that has a good head on his shoulders. The same guy that's in college trying to advance in life, and she may fall in love with him. So much to the extent that she eventually start becoming intimate with him, going out on dates with him, and once they were to both graduate college, they were be able usually to find them a career in what they may have went to college for, and eventually married, settled down, and had either kid or kids. And that's a prime example of how and why, judging from my personal opinion, a female should have no more than 4 sexual partners throughout her whole entire life. The fourth one being the very guy that she would usually end up settling down with. Now, you women could take offense all you want to, make fun of me, but this is just judging from my perspective and my personal honest opinion. You like some of you women are so promiscuous and slutty to the extent where you may like to brag about how you have had sex with over 10 men without no shame at all. I mean, look at women by the likes of Sukiana, women by the likes of Meg the Stallion, Ice Spice, uh, last but not least, Sexy Red, who recently made a song about how my P word is pink and my booty hole is brown. For some of you who might have taken offense to how I said my booty hole is brown, I apologize, but that's a song. She made a song referencing those exact kinds of body parts, and it's so screwed up nowadays. Things are so backwards nowadays to the extent where women look at it as an insult to be a woman of morals, a woman that's a virgin, that's over the age of 25, much less 18, a woman that's never had any kind of sexual experiences with a man, much less had any kids by the age of no older than 25. Most women look at that as something to be shamed about, not realizing how that makes a woman more valuable, more high in value with the less sexual partners she has, especially if that woman is a virgin, which is very unlikely to find nowadays. And I mean very likely because these females nowadays are losing their virginity at the ages as young as 11, 12 years old. Just calling a spade a spade. Anyway, other reasons why the decent, classy women of morals usually win in the end, similar to how nice guys usually win in the end, is because the classy, decent woman, in most cases, is a woman who is a woman that's a Christian woman, a woman that's always involved in the church. And sometimes these women are so holy, art thou so spiritual to the extent where they don't want a man unless he's a man that's of the same um of the same back, has the same kind of uh how could I put it? A man who is spiritual like they are, spiritual and Christian as they are. And some of these women are so deep into the Lord and the spiritual and in the Bible to the extent where if that man tries to miss even at least one Sunday out of church, they would literally force their man, whether he may be, in most cases, their husbands. Because another thing, and another reason why decent, classy, and women of high virtue, high morals and virtue win in the long run is because they don't believe in shacking up, as the elderly people will say, for X amount of years. Instead, after a period of no longer than 2 years, that's when they're ready to marry. Otherwise, that guy who they may initiate to propose to them, and in the process marrying, it doesn't isn't willing to be on the same page as her. In most cases, she's ready to ditch him for a guy that's more serious about spending the rest of his life with her. These are all, fellas, some of the main reasons why classy and decent women usually win in the end for the most part. And once again, They don't believe in showing off their bodies, even if they may have very nice and curvy bodies. They don't believe in indulging in showing them off on social media, unlike so many other women believe in doing in order to get more validation and attention from guys. Also, and once again, they believe in being more of a nurturing and an attentive parent, more responsible parents to their kids as well, uh, at all under all costs. And not only that, but most of these women dress more modest, more conservative, just like how it says in the book of Timothy. I think it's in either Timothy, the first book or the second book, how it says about how a woman is supposed to dress all really modest and conservative. Those are other reasons why women that are decent and high morals, decent, humble, high morals, and just women that carry themselves in a completely um, classy manner win in the long run. Not only that, but you hardly will encounter any of them with multiple kids. If she does have multiple kids, in most cases, she'll have her kids by the same exact guy instead of having her kids from guy to guy. Unlike a lot of these promiscuous women, unlike a lot of these slutty women do. Not only that, but she believes in being 100% committed and faithful under all circumstances to one man instead of messing around or having sex with man after man, not realizing how that makes her reputation that much more lower, but it also accounts for her having, or a lot of other women. That's one of the main reasons why a lot of other women have so many STDs. Not only that, but once again, a woman of high morals or virtue that's classy, decent, doesn't believe in chasing bad boys. Instead, she wants a guy that's a hard working guy. Not only that, but a guy who carries himself in a very upstanding and moralistic manner. A guy who's willing to go the extra mile in their marriage, not their relationship, but their marriage. A guy just like she is who would be more responsible in having kids, will always be a parent to both of their kids, just like she goes out of her way to be a more responsible parent to her kids when her husband, so is he. And not only that, but he's a provider, a decent. I don't care how you women may feel about what I may saying my feedback, but a guy that's really a guy of high virtue, high morals, will always be a provider, not by going out selling drugs, things of that nation, not in that context, but believes in working a job that he works stays on until, in some cases, or until he gets ready to either quit that job or retire from that job or workplace. Those are the types of women, well, men that, excuse me, that women of high morals go for usually. Women that are decent, women that are classy. They, even if that guy may not make as much money as she makes, he is still, you have to factor in how he's still a hard worker. He's still a provider. He's still a good father, one of the best fathers to his kids or towards both his and her kids. He's not out in the streets all day or all night, nor does she have to worry about looking over her shoulder due to him always being in trouble with the law or in the streets. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are some of the main reasons when it all boils down to it why classy, decent, mild mannered, and women of high morals always win in the end. Because due to the simple fact of how, when it all boils down to it, they carry themselves in such a moralistic fashion. They don't, once again, they aren't concerned about going after man from man to man, only to mess around with those men. Instead, she believes, for the most part, a woman of decency and high morals of being with one man for an extended period of time. In most cases, a man that she could end up settling down with, having kids with, and being with until death do both of them part, either until she passes away while being married to him, or vice versa, he passes away by being married to her. And even if her husband may die, she may not ever want to be married nor have a boyfriend anymore at all, due to her true and strong love for her husband that may have passed away. Not only that, but those are some of the things that define a woman. Those are, and in the same breath, those are some of the main reasons why some guys can't deal with a woman of high morals. Not only that, but some guys look at those types of women as too uppity, too bougie, although that's not always the case. Because you do have women that are of high morals, they carry themselves in such a virtuous manner, such an upstanding manner, that are some of the most down to earth women that you could find. Anyway, I'm not going to keep on dragging along this video. I have said enough. After all this video is all almost at the 30-minute mark. Once again, I wanted to give my perspective on why decent, classy women always win in the long run, always finish last, just like how, once again, the nice guys, as it's been said so many times, always win and prevail in the long run. This is the main reasons why, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't have to take my word for it. This is just from my opinion, my personal and honest opinion, my perspective, why some of the most decent, classiest, and I know it's judging by what you see in the media now, or after looking at how in the media women such as, once again, Meg Thee Stallion, Sexyy Red, who else? Ice Spice, Sukihana are portrayed. That doesn't mean all the women are that way, or that there are no more classy women out there. There are still fellas. You just need to know exactly where to find them. And not only that, but fellas, us black brothers, we have to level up more, need to take full responsibility for making much more better choices in the types of women we pick, especially we want a woman to be able to settle down with, marry, have kids with, women that we could always have good chemistry with. And another thing, fellas, some of the main women that you go for, some of the main women that are the most sluttiest, promiscuous, trashy, are some of the main ones who you hardly have anything in common with. And when it all comes down to it, sex, if you look at these women for the most part, which most of you do, fellas, look at these women as sex objects. Eventually, if you keep on having sex with these women more and more on a regular basis, you'll eventually get tired of doing so if you may not could relate to them on another level. If you're not, the two of you don't share any chemistry at all. Not only that, but this is the main reason why so many guys usually get infected with so many STDs, due to how women, in this regard, women that are some of the most promiscuous and slutty, carry some of the most diseases. I know you hate to hear this, guys, and you look at these women as very appealing, sexy, but like it's always been said that what looks good for you is not always good for you. Anyway, I have said a mouthful. Before I close out this video for good, first and foremost, make sure you like the video, make sure you share it, make sure you comment on it, let me know what you think about this particular topic. Last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And with that being said and done, I hope you guys have a very nice day. Goodbye.